Hi, this is Val Hart, the real Dr. Doolittle, and today I'm talking with Krista Dunlop, author, speaker, and environmental advocate. Using her own experience as a professional scuba diver, Krista has a unique perspective of the underwater world and the environmental crisis that we adults have caused. Krista strives to be a guardian of our blue planet and to remind children and adults of all that the underwater world has given us, namely human survival, beauty, and marine animal friendships. She offers inspirational speaking engagements, educational workshops, and Underwater Odysseys publication series. Her work is all about empowering children through education to voice their environmental concerns and take individual responsibility and action to preserve our blue planet. Krista is the author of Underwater Odysseys' first environmental awareness educational activity book for children, entitled Sick and Injured Marine Animals Tell Their Stories, which will be available on June the 1st of 2011. Krista's website is underwaterodyssey.ca. She lives in Ottawa, Canada, and she shares her adventurous life with her two Shih Tzu dogs, Mana and Misha, and her umbrella cockatoo, Abby. Welcome, Krista. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Val. Thank you for inviting me.
I'm so delighted. You know, I love scuba diving. I've always wanted to do that myself. So tell us more about how you got started.
With Underwater Odyssey?
Yeah, I was fascinated with your scuba diving also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
what drew you to the ocean?
Well, I first thought about trying to make a difference in the blue planet when I became a scuba diver, actually, in 1988.
Okay.
As a professional scuba diver since 1994, I have a unique perspective of the underwater world and the environmental crisis we adults have caused. And in addition to that, when I vacation in Clearwater, Florida, I spend some of my vacation time volunteering on the dive stranding team at the Clearwater Marine Aquarium, which is a nonprofit organization. And their mission is to rescue, rehabilitate, and release sick and injured marine animals. Okay. So when I help out on the dive team to keep the marine animals' homes clean, I see a dolphin calf's tail that has fallen off because it's gotten so tightly wrapped up in the crab trap line, or I see a turtle's face mutilated by a boat propeller. All that comes to my mind is, what have we done?
Yeah.
So then time and again, I find myself clearing my mask to wash away my tears. And as these marine animal friends that I've made simply try and to communicate and become friends with me.
Wow. Oh, boy. That makes so much sense. You know, I think when you've been up close and personal with what's really happening, and like you said, with the animals and the, you know, those that share our oceans, it touches you. Doesn't it change you?
Oh, definitely. Like a lot of times, you know, when you're scuba diving, you enjoy the beauty, you see, you know, the beautiful marine life, but there's always a background story.
Yeah. And
since I've been volunteering at the Clearwater Marine Aquarium, I got to see the background story, which a lot of, you know, people, everyday people, do not have the opportunity to see.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm really glad that you're doing what you're doing to help us all understand, because not all of us can be there. You know, not all of us in the world that care about animals and, you know, our ocean marine life and all of that. You said we can't be up close and personal right there like you are. So you're sharing with us what you're discovering and what's touching your heart and what you see as a need. And I'm really glad you're doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's my passion.
Yeah, I hear that. So tell us some stories. Do you have any funny stories about interacting with your marine animal friends at the Clearwater Marine Aquarium?
Oh, yes, I do.
Well, tell us.
One particular one that just happened recently. I just came back from Florida, actually, in early April. But when I'm there, one of the duties that I have as on the dive team is when I'm dive down, I go in the pools and I scrub down a lot of the algae that it sometimes builds up.
Oh.
And a lot of times the dolphins will come over and they're very curious. So they'll come over and check me out to see what I'm up to. Mm-hmm. Anyways, on this particular day, a female dolphin named Panama was in the pool with me and a fellow diver. And she was trying very hard to figure out what the heck we were really doing there. So when we're in there, a lot of times the trainers from CMA have asked the divers not to interact with the marine animals when we're working underwater, as it may interfere with their daily training protocols.
Uh-huh.
So I just stayed focused on what I was doing, but all along I knew that she wasn't too far away from me. So while I was down in the water working away, I noticed that I kept on hitting something with my fins behind me.
Okay.
So I just simply thought, must be the other diver that's, working away beside me, and we don't have enough room to maneuver. So I just kept on moving away.
Okay.
And continuing doing my work.
Right.
So therefore, after we got out of the pool, finishing our work, a couple of the fellow diver team members came up to me and said, "Krista, you have no idea what was going on down there behind you, do you?" So I just looked up and I said, "What do you mean?" Then they told me that Panama was so close to me that I was kicking her and not the other diver while I was working. So they said the whole time I was working away, she was staying really close to me so that she could, see what I was doing. And then every time I hit Panama with the fin, she would simply back up slowly to give me some room and continue watching me while I was working.
That's funny.
Then they went on to tell me that every time we have scrub brushes to clean the pool, the algae off. So they said every time I would use the scrub brush and move up and down with it or side to side, that she would mimic my movements in an attempt to communicate with me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So anyways, in her final attempt to do whatever she could to communicate to me, she, they actually told me that she started to blow lots and lots of bubbles through her blowhole.
Oh, wow.
And that the bubbles were like moving all around me.
Wow.
So they told me it was a really funny sight to see, but at the it was also a very beautiful sight to see.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. So do you have any idea what she was trying to communicate?
I think she was just, trying to communicate the fact that, she wanted to play and be involved in whatever it was that I was doing.
Yeah, exactly. Give me a brush. I can do that.
Exactly.
Is this some kind of new game? I don't understand. Really, I want to play. Oh, that's too cool. I love that. Thanks for sharing Panama's story. That's so sweet. So you say that you believe it's your personal responsibility to be a guardian of our blue planet. And you do a lot of work to remind children and adults, too, of all that the underwater world has given us. And I know you're very professionally and personally passionate about it. So how do you incorporate that passion into your professional career?
Oh, actually through my business communications company, Krista, Dunlop and Associates.
Oh, okay.
I decided to sponsor a corporate environmental awareness initiative, Underwater Odyssey, as a means to help preserve our blue planet.
Wow.
Within Underwater Odyssey, my vision is to shape the young reader's experience so that the children can find order, meaning, and beauty of the blue planet itself. And I feel I have accomplished this by carefully nurturing, the young children's imaginations by providing windows in which they can, look through into the world, empowering them to voice their environmental concerns.
Yeah.
And I really believe that the future of our blue planet and its, environment rests in the hands of our children. Yeah. And through the creation of the Underwater Odyssey publication series, I can address my personal corporate responsibility and also fulfill my passion at the same time.
Right. So you do a lot of work with kids. And so, right?
Well, in diving, I'm around children a lot that are interested in diving. But through my corporate company, Krista, Dunlop and Associates, I'm actually a business communications consultant. So I do a lot of publication work with the government, federal government and private sector. So I'm a writer at heart.
I love that. Yes. So I hear that in your, in your speaking and in your passion and what you're doing, which is to reach as many, as possible through the written word. And what I find interesting here is that our children are very aware, I think, of what's happening in the planet. So I love
they are.
Yeah, they do. They have concerns. They want to voice them. They want to make a difference. They can see what's wrong, and they want to change it. So if we empower them, they actually can.
Exactly. And I'd just like to share with you another story. While I was still volunteering at the Clearwater Marine Aquarium, there's other areas that I sometimes volunteer in, and one of them is to introduce the dolphin shows before the shows actually start.
Okay.
And a couple of times before I did that, I would just off the top of my head, invite a couple of children down on the platform, and I would just simply ask them questions like, if you had a wish with respect to improving the environment, what would it be? And Val, I was totally amazed at how freely and comfortable the children were at voicing their opinions. It was amazing. And, and then I would ask them another question and say, well, what particular projects or what have you done personally to help preserve the blue planet? And they were just naming things off the top of their head left and right so freely and so easily.
Wow. Oh.
So they really do know what is going on.
Yeah. They do, more than we think and more than we adults, who tend to just get stuck in the day-to-day life and survival and, kind of keep our heads down and just keep going, living our life, and doing the best we can with what we're aware of. So, I love, so this is so good. I'm so glad you're doing this. So you decided to write nonfiction for young readers revolving around environmental awareness. So what made you decide to actually do that? What made you jump into this? This is quite a feat for a business communications consultant.
Well, in school, my favorite subject was English, and it was actually one of the easiest subjects for me to partake in school.
Okay.
And another reason was I had fulfilled my dream of becoming a scuba diver, and then I actually had the opportunity to swim with dolphins at the Dolphin Research Center in Marathon, Florida. And that was, after that, I began volunteering as a diver on the dive team at the Clearwater Marine Aquarium. So it didn't take me long to realize I was actually living my passion, and that I shouldn't take it for granted.
Okay.
There's a lot of people in the world who, talk about their passion, but, don't really live it. And I came to realize that I was living my passion.
Wow.
And I realized that my destiny had been carved out for me, and I appreciated the gift that I've been given.
Okay.
And I really want to share this beautiful opportunity I've been given to make many marine animal friends share their knowledge and that I've gained about them and our present environmental concerns, as well as my scuba diving adventures with young children and adults.
I love that. So a lot of kids are wanting to get into scuba diving.
Oh, for sure. Scuba diving you can start at, about age 10, but, before that they can learn to snorkel.
I love that.
And they can experience, coral reefs and everything that's going on with the coral reefs and so forth. So there's so much children actually can do. Besides just voicing their opinions, they can take action and become scuba divers at such a young age.
Yeah. Oh, and, I think that changes their life. It changes like you're talking about your destiny, it would change their destiny. When you get up close and personal with what's really in the oceans, you begin to care. And, what we know we love and care about and what we preserve and protect. And what we don't know, we don't value.
Exactly. When the kids, begin to learn how to snorkel and scuba dive, they are then provided an opportunity for a visual.
Yes.
Rather than just learning from books and so forth.
Right, a three-dimensional, up close and personal encounter. Right, that will change their life. So, sick and injured marine animals tell their stories. That's the first volume of your Underwater Odyssey publication series. So I'm sure that you put a lot of research, because it has a lot of technical information and all of that. How did you go about researching all the information for the publication?
Well, yes, there's a lot of research that must be done to ensure that the young readers receive accurate information. So my background, as you know, is in business communications, and yes, being a professional scuba diving. So initially I had to do a lot of technical research that's available in books, online, etc.
Okay.
But I also, because I'm not a biologist, I actually called upon the expertise of Danielle O'Neill, who is a marine biologist at the Clearwater Marine Aquarium. And I truly appreciate her taking the time to review the content of the workbook and confirming the validity of the facts itself.
Yeah.
Danielle's the manager of sea turtles program at the Clearwater Marine Aquarium, and she's been so lucky to work with, a variety of marine and terrestrial animals in her career.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that. So she's the manager of the Sea Turtles program, and I love sea turtles. I have the most beautiful picture of a sea turtle in my office. I'm looking at her right
great.
now. Her name is
I have
Daisy.
I have a little buddy at the aquarium I call Bailey. Well, that is actually his name,
Bailey.
but I call him my little buddy Bailey. And
Buddy Bailey. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, he's got quite the little story, actually.
I'll bet he does.
How he came there.
Yeah. Oh, well, I would love to hear it, but I tell you what, let's move on. Have you ever had any unusual or embarrassing moments while volunteering and researching all of this?
Oh, yes, I have, actually.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, tell us what happened. Tell us.
When I first started researching for sick and injured marine animals tell their stories, I basically knew nothing about biology. This is when, actually, I started volunteering at CMA and became friends with my buddy Bailey, who was a green sea turtle.
Oh, a green sea turtle. Okay.
Right. Bailey came to CMA after he got caught up in a fisherman's net that was dropped into a fisherman's boat with all of the other fish that the fishermen had caught. And sadly, when they dropped the net, Bailey was dropped on the back of his shell, and he came partially paralyzed.
Oh, my God.
So now Bailey has his own pool at CMA, and although he can swim around, he's permanently disabled.
Oh, wow.
And when you watch him, you can still notice that he bobs in the water up and down from the injury that he received.
Okay.
But in addition to this injury came another little problem.
Okay.
Bailey has digestive problems.
Oh, no.
and must have actually regular enemas to ensure his digestive tract is kept clear.
He has to have enemas to keep his
Yes.
Oh, my God. Oh, that's awful.
So when I first saw this procedure being done by my friend Danielle, who's a vet tech, I thought to myself, you simply got to love these animals to be able to perform such a procedure.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
And actually, a picture of Bailey can be seen on my Underwater Odyssey website.
Okay, and that's www.underwaterodyssey.ca.
Yes.
I want to spell it UNDERWATERODYSSEY.ca.
Yes.
Or you said they can also see it at the Clearwater Marine Aquarium website.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And they can go to seawinter.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seawinter.com. You were telling me something earlier about seawinter.com. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yes, actually, we have at the Clearwater Marine Aquarium, there is actually a little celebrity dolphin named Winter.
Okay.
Yes, and just recently there has been a movie produced, and it's called Dolphin Tale.
Dolphin Tale, okay.
And, yes, and it is, I believe it's scheduled to come out early October. And it's about this it talks about actually Winter's true story, about her losing, being stranded and her losing her tail, actually.
Wow.
And it's all about hope and encouraging young children who maybe have disabilities and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's a family movie. It's coming out in October, as I mentioned, and actually there is a movie trailer clip that everyone can go and have a peek at, again, seawinter.com. So I would encourage everybody to go to the website and have a look at it. I think you'll be very amazed at the movie clip and everything that's on the website regarding Winter and the other animals there.
I love that. Oh, it's so cool. That's so cool. I love, everything that brings our awareness, to what's going on is so wonderful, and I love it.
Actually, and a lot of high-profile movie stars actually were involved in the movie.
Oh, really?
There was Morgan Freeman, Ashley Judd. A lot of the celebrities came together to put this movie together, which I was
glad.
really amazed with.
Yeah. Oh, how wonderful. Oh, thank you everybody for doing all of this. Everybody who goes into it, that makes these things possible. It's just such a blessing, to the world. So thank you. We're going to take a moment to send some love your way. Oh, gosh. So you said that sick and injured marine animals tell their stories. This is coming out in June of 2011. So if you're listening to the show before then, be sure and make a note to check it out. And if it's after then, by the time you're listening to this, be sure and check it out too. So where can they find copies of it?
Well, there'll be copies on the Underwater Odyssey website that people can download as a PDF file.
Okay.
Our distributor for the printed versions of the book will be through Lightning Source in the U.S.
Okay.
And Lightning Source, the publications will be with Amazon, Baker & Taylor, Barnes & Noble,
okay,
etc.
Very good.
And the book will also be published as an ebook through Smashwords. So individuals who have a Sony Reader, the Pocket Edition, Apple iPhone, the iPad will also be able to download the book.
Awesome. Oh, this is so cool. You're doing book signings and you're doing...
Yes, I'll be doing book signings at schools, at libraries, corporations. I'll be targeting corporations a lot because a portion of all the profits from all of these publications that we'll be producing will be directed to the Clearwater Marine Aquarium and also the Project Aware Foundation.
Excellent. Tell us a little more about the Project Aware Foundation. What is that all about?
Project Aware Foundation is an affiliate company of PADI, and PADI is the Professional Association of Diving Instructors. That is the association that I belong to as a scuba diver, professional scuba diver.
Oh, okay.
So their mission is basically to educate children and adults about our environmental issues and also to do research work. So I've personally chosen these two organizations to direct a portion of the profits from these publications, as I'm very, very close to both of them.
Excellent. That makes a lot of sense. Good. And I know they need our support.
Yes.
And you as well. So what other publication ideas do you have for the Underwater Odyssey series?
Well, I'm presently working on a second one right now, and it is about the Great Gulf of Mexico oil spill.
Ooh, okay.
Yes. So it will be a coloring activity book for kids.
Okay.
The other ones that are planned in the future are the endangered marine animals. Okay. The other one is coral reefs, and another one is marine animals and native legends.
Ooh, that sounds very interesting. I just want to talk about those. Now I want to talk about So the endangered marine animals, the coral reefs, I know, are such an amazing feature of the ocean and so critically important to the health of the ocean. And the native legends, that is so much fun. Wow.
I've done a lot of work with the Aboriginals and more particularly with the Royal Commission on Aboriginal People. So I've met many elders, medicine women and men.
Okay.
And they're very, very open to working with me on this.
Oh, how wonderful.
Oh, I don't know if you're familiar with totem animals, but there's totem animals provide lessons for all of us to learn. And totem animals involve like the wolf, the dog, the dolphin, the whale. So I'm going to be incorporating all those native legends into the educational book that revolves around this particular publication.
I love that. What a brilliant idea. Oh, man. So let's just talk about scuba diving for a minute. You said it's a sport that anyone can do, and you can start it as early as about 10 years old.
Yeah.
Tell us a little more about scuba diving.
Well, Well, scuba diving actually is a sport that anyone can do and start, as I mentioned, at a very early age.
Yeah.
I've even seen amputees scuba diving.
Wow.
It's also a great family sport with lots of adventure and educational benefits built into it.
Okay.
And it's even a sport that everyone can enjoy, even into their elderly years. I mean, if you just look at Jacques Cousteau, he was diving right up to, shortly before he passed away.
Wow.
And when you do scuba dive, Val, it's like truly going to another planet to explore all its wonders.
Wow. We look at space as the final frontier. But
exactly. And I mean, here we have our
but the oceans cover so much of our planet, and most of us are largely unaware. We're more aware of outer space than we are of our inner space and our blue oceans and the blue planet. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you do when you're not scuba diving?
Well, when I'm not scuba diving, I spend a lot of quality time with the loves of my life, which are my dogs, Mana and Misha, which are Shih Tzus, and my parrot, Abby.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you have umbrella cockatoos?
Yeah, she's an umbrella cockatoo.
Oh, wow.
They're known for being what they call love sponges. Very affectionate, very needy. And they have like a mentality of a 2-year-old. So for those of you who have human children, you can imagine. I go through the same thing with my parrot. And during the winter months, we like to hang out watching the movies together on the couch.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we go up I have a cottage up in the Quebec side, so I bring them up there, and we romp around up there. So we hang out a lot together.
You just hang. I love that. This is so fun. I love that. Okay, so environmental awareness has really grown leaps and bounds in the last few years. Mm-hmm. And so, what are your thoughts on the future of environmental awareness?
I believe the future of our environment world rests in the hands of our young children, actually. As a professional scuba diver, I personally believe it's my personal responsibility to be a guardian to the blue planet, and it's through the creation of the Underwater Odyssey publication series that I can address my personal, corporate responsibility as a guardian. And I'm able to educate and empower children to voice, their individual concerns about their future blue planet. So I'd actually like to take this opportunity and to invite other corporations to join me on this exciting journey to create a blue planet legacy, one that we can all be proud of leaving to our children and generations to come through, corporate environmental education program fundraising initiatives. And that is one of the venues in which I will be, promoting my book. I will be contacting corporations and speaking to them and encouraging them to work with me.
Okay. Well, and I certainly hope they do. It's a worthy cause by all means. So what would you like our audience to do next? Is there anything that you would like to encourage them to take action on, or that would help in the journey in your?
Yes, actually, as I mentioned, I truly believe the future of the environment rests in the hands of our young children. And Val, you know what? The reality is we adults have caused today's environmental crisis.
Yeah.
And therefore, I believe it's our responsibility as adults to educate our children and future generations to come to preserve their future blue planet. So, what I'd like to stress is remind them, guide them, and educate them.
Okay.
And I also have actually a favorite quote from Jacques Cousteau, and this quote is, "The impossible missions are the only ones which succeed." So I'd like to take this opportunity once again to invite corporate businesses to join me, and create a blue planet legacy. Again, one we can all be proud of to give to our kids.
Yeah, right. So the other thing they, of course, can do is support your work by getting their own copy of Sick and Injured Marine Animals.
They can purchase. Yes, they can purchase the Sick and Injured Marine Animals Tell Their Stories on the Underwater Odyssey website.
Okay.
They can purchase it through Lightning Source, the distributor, directly, or it will be distributed through Amazon and Barnes & Nobles.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it'll also be distributed through Smashwords as an ebook version. So it'll be on Amazon also,
right?
Through the ebook versions.
Right. So every child needs a copy of this.
Yeah.
What's the age? What's the age frame? Or for the?
It's a coloring activity book, so I would say 5 years and up.
About 5 years old and up. Okay,
mm-hmm.
Good. So everyone that knows any children in that age frame, get them a copy. Help them learn to help them educate about help educate them about our planet. Help guide them, remind them that the truth is that we're borrowed our planet from our future, from our children, and that we do in fact have a responsibility to take care of what we have. And I love how you term it the Blue Planet Legacy.
So, thank you so much.
Yeah.
It just came to my mind. It just came, and I thought, okay, this is what I'm going to use.
Right, I got it, and it makes so much sense to me because this is what we'll leave. We want to leave a dead planet, or do we want to leave a thriving, surviving blue planet?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh man. So, any final thoughts or stories you want to share just to help bring the point home?
Well, I think, once again, I really encourage everybody to make a point to go to Clearwater Marine Aquarium's website, seawinter.com. Yeah. Take a look at that Winter Tales movie trailer. It's coming out soon. Mm-hmm. It is a bit of a tearjerker, but it's a true story, and it's also very an uplifting story.
Okay.
And I just, really, truly, I think if everybody just takes the time to see this movie, mm-hmm. you'll just be totally amazed.
Mm. Oh, I'm so excited. It's hard for me to even imagine a tailless dolphin, so I have to go look at that right now. so it's Sea Winter, like go see her, like SEE Winter.
SeaWinter.com.
Right. And I know that the more that we support these kinds of movies and activities and organizations, the more support we give them, the more of a difference you all can make.
Exactly, and the movie itself is a very inspiring, true story.
Wonderful.
It's family-oriented.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody will love it. All age groups will love it.
Oh, it's so great. Krista, thank you so much for being on the show.
Well, thank you so much, Val, for inviting me. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for all the work you're doing. And I want to hear more. So when you come out with the rest of them, let's get back together because I am just dying to hear about the native legends and the endangered and all the coral reef. I want to hear a lot more about it. So.
Oh, I'd love to.
Great. Okay. Well, let's leave it here and we'll pick it up next time. Thanks, Krista.
Thank you, Val.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.